Earlier this year, I managed to blow up a brand new YouTube channel with only one video. Now, blowing up a YouTube channel might mean different things to different people, but I was able to achieve a full monetization status on this brand new channel with only one video. That means gaining over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 watch hours in order to be monetized on YouTube, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did it in this video. There are 8 steps that we need to walk through, so make sure you guys watch all the way through to see what the number 8 position is, because I guarantee you won't know every single step that I'm about to talk about. But we need to start off with actually researching for your channel. Now, if you are like me, chances are you just want to create a YouTube channel and maybe you don't have a good idea in your mind of what you actually want to create. For this though, I highly recommend going off an interest that you already have. For example, if you play video games a lot, then making a gaming channel seems like the obvious choice, but this is too broad of a niche. You actually need to nail this down on what specifically you want to do within this niche. If you just enjoy playing video games and you are actually quite good at it and maybe you are entertaining, then streaming could be the perfect opportunity for you, and then uploading clips from your stream to a YouTube channel. If you are more interested in storyline games and games with an in-depth campaign, then maybe showing tips and tricks and obviously tutorials for completing those video games is going to be the ideal route for you and your channel. These are just some examples, but this obviously doesn't just relate to gaming. If you're interested in finance and investing, then maybe you want to niche this down to specific company reviews or maybe even portfolio reviews on how well you are investing and what you plan to invest on in the future. If you are interested in businesses, then you could always do in-depth documentary style videos about these businesses and how they operate, or if you are interested in history and businesses, then you could break down both of these into one niche and talk about the history of how businesses were founded, and these channels seem to be popping up everywhere on YouTube. If you are interested in sports, there are thousands of sports channels out there and some of their content is honestly really amazing, but this is all part of step 1, which is researching for your niche. You also want to find a gap in the market where people haven't quite covered what you plan on doing yet. So if you've found an untapped niche on YouTube that you think other people would be interested in, then that is the niche that you want to go with. Even if your niche is already saturated, you can still do this and just have to find better ways of creating your content that is more engaging than what your competitors are doing, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Once you have come up with a niche for your channel, step 2 is going to be researching video ideas for this. This can actually be quite simple. You just want to find some competitors that are uploading similar videos to what you plan to do in the future, find out what videos they've already uploaded on their channel, what has worked for them, what videos have maybe gone viral, and of course, what videos haven't worked for them as well. This is going to give you a good idea of what people are looking for in your certain niche. It's going to show you exactly what content works, but the researching phase doesn't stop here. It would be really easy to just look at video titles and take some ideas from the titles alone, but you actually need to engage in their videos. You need to watch the entire thing and break down what has made them successful. Sometimes a really good video idea can actually perform really badly if the video isn't executed properly, so it's really important to have a distinction between what videos work well because they are actually good videos, they are edited really well, and are of course to a really high quality, but it is also worth looking at the videos that haven't performed as well and seeing whether they haven't performed because they were bad videos or just bad ideas. I usually like to get started off with around 20 video ideas and then cut out all the bad ones down to 10 and then keep doing that until you get down to the best video idea from your list. It doesn't mean that you don't have to upload the other 19 video ideas, but it just means that you are going to start working on the video that you think is the best, that is going to engage the audience in the best way, and of course have the most interactions and possible chance to go viral on YouTube. Once you have come up with your video idea though, we can move on to step 3, which is actually starting to write the script for your video, and this is the script writing phase. This obviously depends on what sort of videos you are doing as well. If you are doing the business documentary style videos, you can always ask some people to help you out with this on Fiverr or Upwork, or even just some friends. Maybe if you are working on a channel together, you can always get them to help you with writing a perfect script for YouTube, but you want to find out special techniques that people use to engage the audience in a way that keeps them basically entertained throughout the entire video. You don't want to give away all the information in the first 30 seconds because then people have no reason to watch the entire video, and then your video won't get pushed into the YouTube algorithm and you probably won't have any chance of blowing up. If you can figure out a way to make people engaged throughout the entire video, regardless of if this is only for a 5-minute or a 50-minute video, you want to try and find ways to keep them engaged. A lot of people will do this with hooks, and even some gaming YouTubers that don't necessarily have a script for their video also do this with little trailers or sneak peeks of what their video is actually going to talk about. You see this all the time with a little montage at the start of gaming videos, showing players and showing viewers what is actually going to happen throughout the video, and it keeps you on edge until you see that exact moment that it happens. One of the biggest gaming YouTubers in the world, Vanos, and of course his really good friend Wildcat, do this all the time. Personally, I really like this. I think it's a good way to keep your audience engaged throughout the entire video, and of course creates a build-up and anticipation of that exact moment. Once you have then created a script, you can record your voice, which is a really important part. You want to make sure your equipment is good for this as well. I'm using a really good microphone, but even if you don't have enough money or you haven't really got a good microphone to start off with, you can always use one that is built into your laptop or your phone. These are still going to be really good and a perfect starting point for your first ever video. Next step though is going to be editing and refining your video. Now, a lot of people talk about editing. There are so many different ways you can edit your YouTube video, so I'm not really going to talk too in depth about that just yet, but what I really want to focus on is refining down your video. Not too many other people really talk about this, but this is basically getting rid of all the stuff that you don't need in your video. Maybe 5 to 10 years ago, if you were creating gaming content, you could just upload an hour-long video of you playing the game. This was pretty common. A lot of people did this, and a lot of people actually became really famous from just uploading hour-long videos of them playing a game. There was no editing to this. There was nothing really exciting about the video, but this is what worked on YouTube back then. Unfortunately though, this isn't what is going to work today. People have a lot shorter attention spans in today's world, and that is pretty much because of social media apps like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and even YouTube. If you do want to create longer YouTube gaming videos, you want to make sure that you cut down all the parts where nothing exciting is happening. This might be a time when no one is talking or there just isn't too much action, and you can always skip this and cut to the parts where people actually really want to see. This doesn't mean that you are reducing an hour-long video to like 10 minutes. You can still cut it down to maybe 40 minutes or even half an hour, and people are still going to watch as much as they can because it is engaging the whole video. As soon as people start to get bored for 5 or 7 seconds, they usually click off, so you want to make sure something exciting is happening every few seconds just to keep people engaged. You also want to make sure that your videos are edited to a high level, but I can show you guys a full tutorial on how I edit in a future video, so if you do want to see that, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Our next step though is really going to help you guys out with this, and this is talking about the audio and visual effects in the editing. This might actually seem quite simple, but this can be anything from just including background music to your videos to create a really good feel behind the video. It can also add a lot of emotion to your video as well. If you're talking about something quite sad, then you want to include some sad music, or if you want to build up the drama, then you can include some dramatic music behind you to create this feeling of intensity, and that is actually really important and something that a lot of smaller YouTubers overlook. This goes the same with some other audio effects like whooshes and transitions that are really going to help just create a little bit of interest in those 5 to 7 second snippets that a lot of people might otherwise overlook. Visual effects are going to work in the same way. You also want to add transitions as often as you can. This is going to keep people engaged. You want to make sure that even if you aren't really talking about something too exciting, you just try and show some animations, which have become really popular on YouTube. And if you are just playing games, then maybe you could add some random explosions just to create a more entertaining and funny vibe throughout your entire channel. This is going to go a long way in helping you to get monetized and of course getting your channel to blow up from the first video. Once you have done this though, it is finally time to render your video and move on to step 6, which is designing the thumbnail. Now, if you've already built some channels before, you might actually be able to hire a thumbnail designer, but we can actually talk about that in a different video. When you are first starting out on a brand new YouTube channel though, you want to include some thumbnail research in the original phases of creating a video. This should be done maybe even before you write a script. You want to have a general idea in your head of what the thumbnail is going to look like. You can obviously base this off of what competitors have done and what has worked for your competitors as well, mixed in with your own ideas and what your designer may think as well if you are actually hiring a designer. It is really important though that you do get a proper thumbnail either designed or made by yourself, because just having boring thumbnails on YouTube doesn't really work anymore, considering this is what viewers are going to see first before they even watch any of your video. Let's move on though to step 7, and this is optimizing your title and video tags. Optimizing your title is one of the most difficult and important steps in your entire YouTube journey. You want to create a short title that people can read really easily. Anything that is over really 50 characters is too long, and chances are people aren't even going to be able to read your entire title. But you also want to make sure that you include enough keywords to convey to the viewer what your video is actually about. If you're creating a Minecraft video where you are trying to survive in a hardcore world, you just don't want to title it Minecraft Hardcore Survival, because no one is ever going to click on that. You want to be able to label it something intriguing, something intense that makes people want to click on it and watch the entire video. There are some really good tools out there like vidIQ and TubeBuddy that can really help you with this, and that is what I've been using pretty much since I started on this YouTube journey. For my video in particular, I did use vidIQ and also some research to see what other competitors in my niche had done previously in order to get a really engaging title, and I think it worked really well. Tags is something that not a lot of YouTubers do anymore. There isn't really much proof of them actually having any importance on your video going viral or not, but I still feel like it is a good way to include some keywords in your tags just to make sure that YouTube knows exactly what your video is about. And finally guys, moving on to the last step of blowing up your YouTube channel is uploading the video. The work doesn't end here though, because you still need to refine and rework some of the information that you have uploaded in your video. Usually the first video that you create on your YouTube channel isn't going to be the best video that you ever upload. More often than not, YouTubers are going to improve on their job every single video. This can be from including more engaging audio recordings to actually editing more efficiently, and of course with better techniques to create more engaging videos. What you can do if a video is underperforming is create a secondary thumbnail for it. Maybe your first thumbnail just wasn't what a lot of people actually wanted to see, and there is a better style for this. So if you do come up with a better thumbnail idea once your video has already uploaded and the video is underperforming, this is going to be a really good time for you to change this and use a secondary thumbnail. I actually did this for my channel. This video really only got 1,000 views in the first week, and once I changed the title and the thumbnail, it blew up to over 100,000 views only a few weeks later. As I just mentioned, if the thumbnail isn't really that good, then chances are the title might not be the best either. You can also change this around to create a more clickbaity and engaging title, and that is going to go a really long way in order to helping you blow up a YouTube channel from day one. But there you guys go. That is exactly how I managed to blow up a channel with only one video. If you guys want to see more in-depth videos like this, make sure to let me know in the comments down below and hit the subscribe button.